Hi, this is 5 Tips Teacher, and today let's talk about the 5 tips you will ever need for class management. Now, I'm gonna make this show a little bit different than before. I'm gonna talk about 5 tips that you have been lied to all this time. So let's speak the truth. So the number 1 tip is it's not about other teachers. It's about you. Yeah. You need to first put yourself in control. Before you can put the kids in control. What do I mean by this? Alright, so let's say you say the first rule is respect. Now, do you respect yourself? And what does that word mean to you? If you say to the classroom that they have to do something, you are the role model, you're the teacher. So all those rules need to apply to you first. You gotta respect yourself in every single possible way, in every activity. Now, if you say, when I'm speaking, everybody's listening, that also applies to you. When the student is speaking, you are listening. Now, I'm going to let you think about that. Let's move on to tip number 2. Every activity needs to include those rules for management. Let's say that you said the rule is respect. What do you got to do? You got to make every activity about respect. They're not learning that day and every day. It's not about them learning about the subject. The first and the foremost is they got to learn about respect. Every time that rule is broken, you address it. You don't scream. That's not your way, right? You don't smile. You make it known. This is not acceptable. Okay? Every class that you have, from the start that you teach till the end of your teaching career, every single hour, minute, second, millisecond is about respect, because that's your rule. And all the other rules must follow it. Alright, so the tip number 3. I know you're wondering so far probably, how's this going to work in the classroom with the kids? What if they don't follow the rules? What if I keep on pushing it and they don't follow? Well, the tip number 3 helps. They always say that the classroom is a beautiful, calm, and peaceful place, but it's not. And the only thing that works with children, with adults, with everybody is competition. A constant competition. So you have to make sure that when the class starts, they know they're up against each other. So half of the classroom is one team, half of the classroom is the other team. Probably a lot of people even do this from time to time, but I'm saying do it every time. Why? Because this makes every class goal-oriented. Your job is to make sure that first they follow the rules. When they follow the rules, they will follow the competition to get the prize, to get the goal. The prize could be a little bit connected to the goal, but it should not be the focus. The focus for you is that you know children are led, or students are led to the goal. Also, This gives you a perfect opportunity to establish every activity, everything that you do, with a point structure. Why? So that every time something is not being followed, you take down the points. It leads us backwards instead of leading us forward to the goal. This will help their mind, subconscious mind, to understand that when they're not learning, the learning is to come to a goal. And every class needs to lead to that goal with the learning and with the rules so that they match perfect. One more thing to remember is don't forget to have fun as well. But never go down. You are the teacher, you are the light. Okay? And students are the darkness. You need to shine your light on these students. All right? Thank you. Tip number 4. What do you do when you have a kid who is not following a rule? You do this. You have a person. If you have somebody working with you, or you just continue the lesson with everybody else. And you make sure that when you started these rules, it was really important that you are following these rules first, and so are the students. Now you need to take this to a micro level. Within those groups, there needs to be a leader, and there needs to be followers. In every class, they need to switch so they understand their roles. Now, what is the purpose of a leader? A leader is the teacher instead of a teacher. And he has to follow that everybody's paying attention to the rules and everybody is paying attention to the study. Even if they don't know, this person can help and whisper to them. That's okay. But that student, when you give him the responsibility, instead of you doing that job, he will go fix that child. This is peer pressure. Nobody wants to be left behind. Think about that. And number 5, let me show you an example of this. So let's say I'm teaching English and I need to teach a question and an answer of, let's say, it's really simple. It's like kindergarten stuff or primary school. I need to teach like animals, questions and answers about animals. Could be like, what's this animal? This animal is a bird. And then we can take it further, like, where do birds live? What do birds do? Okay? And they need to respond in a correct manner, as the birds can fly. The birds live in the jungle, in the forest. Okay? Now, when you're teaching this, you first start your class with rules, right? The rules could be respect. When teacher is speaking, everybody's listening. When everybody's listening, teacher. When everybody's speaking, the teacher is listening. The other rule might be when you want to say something, when the teacher is speaking, you have to lift your hand. The other rule might be we have to take care of our stuff. Always place them neatly on the table. Always keep the books inside the backpacks. Backpacks go here. Your clothes goes here. Every single thing down to the bit. Now, once you establish these rules and the class starts, and let's say your first activity is for the students to actually, within groups, ask each other questions. When you have that leader, right, and you have the board, and on the board there are different groups and points, you first do something like an icebreaker where you give them a lot of points, right? Fill it up, like give them enthusiasm. Really good job. Awesome. When the class starts first activity and they're doing this, you are responsible for two leaders. So you go to the leader of that group and you tell, and you don't speak. You just show him. You go like, and you show him that somebody's doing wrong. And then you go to the board and you take the points. You don't speak. You don't interfere with that, because your rule is when the children are speaking, the teacher is listening. So even while doing this, you're presenting your rule. So you just point to him until he goes and fixes that student. If he doesn't know how to fix, you don't speak. You show him. You fix the student with him, with his hand. And then you give him a point to the leader. And then that student sees. Then you go and check the other group. And you constantly manage the space. Don't speak. Just manage. This is brilliant, trust me. At the end, you just say something. You say, stop. So you want this activity to stop. You see somebody's not stopping. You go to the board, you say the names, and you take off points. Before you establish, the student need to sit nicely, neatly, and everything. So you go show them the rule and take off the points. He's not fixing it, you take off the points and you point to the leader. He will fix him. He will fix everything with him. And you continue doing this. When they do a good job, you reward that. And that's it. It works beautifully. If you have any questions about this, if you want me to speak more about this, please just ask. All right, this was 5 Tips Teacher, and see you next time.